So we're going to start with processing. First thing you need to do is you need to download processing. So you're going to go to this link. It's going to give you the option to download. It's going to take a bit of a while. It's a Java file. You don't need to make any donation unless you feel like it. And then you're going to be the Windows 64 bits download. So you're going to click on that. You're going to download your files. And what you want to make sure that you do is that you're going to save these in your H drive. So let's just see where this starts to save. It's going to take it a bit. You're going to download here, right? And again, I'm going to cancel this because I already have it downloaded, but you're going to have some downloads folder, and you're going to move that onto your H drive. So this is where it was downloading. You can see in the downloads, whenever it gets there, what you're going to want to do is put it in your H drive. So I'm going to cancel this because I already have it downloaded. And what you want is somewhere on your H drive, you're going to make something. You're going to make your processing folder. And in here is the things that come. You're not going to touch a lot of these things. This is all the Java stuff that's attached. So you're going to go to Processing 2.2.1, and then this is the icon that you're going to want. All right, so you could go to this folder every time, or you can right-click and create a shortcut, and then just drag that shortcut onto your desktop, and that should link. If I did that correctly, then that'll link to that file, and you'll be open processing at that point. And so now you have it on your desktop, and if you double click it, it'll open up processing. And this is our development environment. Now, this is an integrated development environment. It means it has everything that you need to be able to run processing. All right, so it takes a second to load, and when it does, we'll come back and we'll talk about what we have within it. Okay, so this is what pops up. This is your processing IDE, and you can go ahead and make it full screen if you want. Just to look at kind of what we have here, right? We have a file menu, an edit, a sketch. We can run, stop. We have some tools. We have a help menu, and then there's a lot of things you can open. You can have examples you can open. There's lots of things, but basically, this is where you type. So this is your typing, and then you hit the little play button, and it'll run. And so this is based on, it is Java. You can see over here we have Java. There's a Python module you can add as well, but we're going to do things in terms of Java to start us off. And we have a little bit of, we're going to do an example here. There's some simple ones, but we'll do one that's a little bit more interesting. So if I do void, and we'll talk about what that means down the road, setup, and then Java blocks code with these curly braces. I'm going to say the size is 480, and then comma 120. And then in Java, you end everything with a semicolon. So again, this is just the conventions for the language, right? It's not indentation like Python, but it's going to be our curly braces and semicolons. So that's going to be my setup, and then I want to draw something. This is very similar to the draw handler idea in Python and Code Sculptor. And I'm going to say if the mouse is pressed, okay, and that is not going to have braces on there. I'm going to fill something, and again, we'll go through this slowly, but I just want to show you kind of the whole progression here. If the mouse is not pressed, I want something else to happen, so I'd say else, and then again brackets to grab my code, fill 225 or 255, let's do that, semicolon, and then I want to draw an ellipse. All right, so draw an ellipse, and I want to be where the mouse X value is, the mouse Y value is, and we're going to make our ellipse. Let's make it 40, 40. So an ellipse that's 40, 40 is going to look like a circle. And again, we've put a bunch of stuff in here. We just want to get kind of familiar with how this is going to work. It's a cooler example than the one that you're going to do first. But now we hope and we run it. All right. It takes it a while. It's compiling this into the Java bytecode, and then it's going to run our values over here. And it popped off the screen for me. And you can see I have my circles, and if I hold down the mouse, I get black circles. So that's that fill 0, fill 255. It's just following my mouse going wherever. Now I can close it. I could change that. Let's say I wanted it to be a little bigger. I can make that 480. And then you can mess with this if you wanted to. Make it 250. And then this could be arms, alright, not much of a difference, but the size is now different, and basically it just draws a circle or an ellipse wherever I have dragged my mouse. And if I want it to really look like an ellipse, change one of these, and then run it, and pops up again. Again, it's compiling, and now I get more of an ellipse, and again, I hold down the mouse and I get different colors. So let's say I'm happy with that. That's a sketch that I want. We're going to be able to take this. We want to do a couple of things. We want to first off save it somewhere. So we're going to save this, and let's do save as to begin with to kind of see where we're at here. And again, we're going to make our own. This is now on the H drive, so that's where I put things, right? I'm on my H drive. I want to make a new folder, and let's call it like my sketches. Okay. And then in here, we have some default sketch, whatever. Let's call this sketch sketch assignment 1 underscore S1. So assignment 1, sketch 1, we hit save, the default is fine. And now what we're going to do, so that's a local file, it'll run in our values here. We could export things, right? So we have some export options, but we're going to do something a little bit different. There's a JavaScript processing that can run, and that'll run in the browser. And so as soon as my cursor comes back, we can pause this for a second. Okay, so I was done saving, and now I can actually grab this code. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go to Studio Sketchpad. Studio Sketchpad now is another development environment, and you're welcome to use it if you want. You have to make, you're going to create an a login, I already have one, and you're going to then run your code in this online browser-based environment, which is basically going to make a JavaScript version of what we have. And you can see that there's my default. It's got over here, it's going to drag all these lines. That's great, except what I want is I want the code that we actually wrote, which is this. Right? So this was what we wrote. Hopefully this does the same thing that it did in processing, and this is the JavaScript version. So if I run this, you can see there's my screen, and it's exactly what it was over there. Right? So same thing. I can rename this. I should probably rename it. Is the same thing that I had before. So this was A1 underscore S1. Alright, save it. And there we go. Now, what's a little bit different with this is we're going to have the ability to embed this. Alright, so we can embed the HTML getting an iframe tag, and that will allow us to put it in our website. Alright, so let's say we're done with this. I'm going to change it back. I like the circles better, and then I actually liked when it was a little bit smaller as well. So, oops, that needs to be 120. Is that what it was? 120 and semicolon, and let's just make sure that works. And then there we go. That's what I want. So that's perfect. That's what I want to have. And so then I'm going to go back to, I'm going to pause this. Okay. I'm going to go back to my sketches. So if I click on my sketches, I can see it's going to bring up my library of things I put in here. I don't have a lot in here right now, but I can go to this one we just made. And then this is a different, it's not edited, it has my different options for where things were in terms of where I've saved it. But what I really want is this piece. I want to embed this in HTML. So it's going to give me this thing. I copy all of this. So I get all that. It's an iframe tag. And so now I can take that into one of my web pages. So I go down and open up Notepad++. Alright, let's say that I have some page that I'm trying to do. So I'm going to copy all this. I'm going to make a new page. I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to get rid of this. This is not what I want. I'm going to call this here at the top. I'm going to call this processing examples, and then I actually lost that this code, so I need this tag back. Right? Go back to Notepad++, and that whole thing, that whole iframe tag goes in there. I don't touch anything in there. It's long, right? That's fine. I need to save this somehow, so I'm going to do save as, and now this will be in your web development folder, still in your H drive. Call it processing .html or something like that. Alright, there we are. And now we're going to run this in the browser. So I'm going to run in Chrome. And there we go. I've embedded my sketch right into the browser. And so you have the ability to have a dynamic kind of web page with your processing text. So I could now go back, right, and change this. Maybe I want something above that. I could say, this is my first sketch in processing. And then I'll probably put a break in there so it's not on the same line. Save it. Go back here and then refresh it, right? And you can see that it's just like everything else we've had in our web pages that you embed with this iframe tag. All right, good luck.